met with me?
Right, we are live.
Everything's cool?
We are live.
Sounds like that's about 8 people coming from Nazri's computer right now.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the comforts of my living room. Welcome to the Monday Night Mayhem, and I'm your host Wadi from the Fight Scene. If you guys out there want to join in with the discussions, log on to Facebook, like our page at www.facebook.com/thefightscene.sg. Hop on to the Monday Night Mayhem post, type in your comments, and I'll add them to the show. So I have my panelists and guests on the show. I have our Rebel FC Matchmaker, Sanderson, Rebel FC fighter, Nazri Sutari, Frank, Barca Rebel FC commentator, and 10 Planet Jiu Jitsu instructor and Rebel FC fighter from Australian top team, Suman Mokhtarian.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. It's awesome.
All right.
Guys, good to be here.
All right, Chad, you are up first. I heard you went to Atlanta. What happened there?
I went to Atlanta after Rebel FC on December 21st because I was too tired of all the good weather and the nice people. So I went back to see my family. I hadn't seen them in a while, and it was Christmas. So I left Singapore on Christmas morning. Had a 23-hour flight. Got to Atlanta. Spent about 2 weeks with my family. Now I'm just got back a few days ago, suffering from the worst jet lag I've ever experienced in my life.
All right. So were you in Atlanta trying to sign some fighters or something for the next Rebel show?
I didn't go to Atlanta specifically for that purpose, but I have been in some talks with a few people. I can't speak on exactly who some of those guys are. But yeah, I have been definitely in some talks for signing up some guys for the next event.
So are there big names coming?
Yeah, there will be for the next show. For the next show, there will be at least 2 people that most knowledgeable MMA fans should know.
Wow. Okay, there are rumors saying that Rebel FC is going to be on in May. Is that true?
Well, it depends right now. We're still in the planning stages. The last show that we did, we had to move quickly. We had to move quickly at the end, and so for this show, we want to make sure that all our bases are covered and all our grounds are covered, and we have the appropriate sponsorship and all that type of stuff. So it might be in May, it might be in June, it might be like early July, but either way, there's definitely going to be a show around the middle of the year. And we'll probably have some other stuff going on later in the year as well.
All right. So I heard that you signed some fighters already. Suman already spoke to us last week saying that Suman have been signed. Any other fighters that you would like to? Any other fighters you like to say out that you have signed for the next event? Events in the future.
Well, there are a few people from the last show that we have definitely spoken to. Some of the standouts on the last show that put on a really good performance that we've spoken to. And then aside from those guys and girls as well, there are again these aren't things that I can talk about with right now because it spoils some of the surprises that we've got set up for later in the year. But there's a few people that have either signed or are very close to signing. That are pretty big names, I think, in the Asian MMA community.
All right, that's good. Another one more rumor, the last one, my final one. Rob Lecita. Does Rebel still have a hold on him, or has Lisita slipped away from Rebel FC?
We're still talking to Rob,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, Rob is one of the things that I always wanted to do with Rebel, and that our executive director Justin Leong wanted to do with Rebel, is to make sure that the fighters that fight for us get the opportunities that they want.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone comes and fights for Rebel FC and then they get an offer for UFC or ONE FC or whatever that may be,
Mm-hmm.
um, then if he's someone that I really like and that's a very exciting fighter and is a character like Rob is,
Mm-hmm.
then we'll try to talk to him and work out some kind of a deal. But ultimately, it's not going to be. I'm not looking to lock anybody in.
Ah, all
I'm
right.
not looking to lock people in without so they can't go and do what they need to do and advance their career the way that they need to advance their career. Um, and hopefully that way of doing things will make us a preferred option to some of the other people out there who do things a little bit differently. Um, but Rob, as far as some of the other people on the show, Rob right now is rising extremely fast.
Mm-hmm.
He's a really big name, and after he beat Lion Takeshi, he's on a 3-fight win streak right now, not including his Combat 8 win.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of a hot commodity for everybody. So for Rebel, for ONE FC, for UFC, I would say all of us kind of want him right now.
Yep. All right, Chad. Thanks for your time. Maybe we can have you on the show the next time.
Sure, no problem. It was nice being here.
All right, thanks. Okay, that's Chad Anderson, everybody. Now I'm going to move to our knockout artist, Muhammad Nazri Sutari from Impact MMA.
Hey, so
Okay, Nazri, I was there at the team takedown event. You were screaming so loudly. I was so worried that you're gonna have a long injury. So tell me, what happened to your knee, man?
now I don't know because during the takedown what happened, I felt his whole body was on my knee,
Mm-hmm.
and then I lost balance, so I had my knee propped straight up. Then I heard like three crunching sounds on my knee,
Mm-hmm.
so I panicked. Then when I fell, I couldn't feel any pain at first because it was numb, and then suddenly there's this sharp pain like piercing through my knee, so I started screaming because I panicked.
Okay.
Yep, that's what happened.
So you
And went to the hospital,
Mhm.
but yeah, so I went to the hospital, but the doctor checked. So fortunately, there's nothing torn or broken, so it's all good.
All right. That's great. So let's talk about your fight on Rebel FC, where you knocked out Ma Yong Jen in 1 minute 30 seconds. Tell me the whole thing before the fight, during the fight, after the fight. What happened?
You mean before the fight, as in like when I was walking in, or?
Yeah. How are you feeling? Since you are the first guy to step up, man.
Okay. Oh, that feeling.
Yep.
Because at first I was actually very scared because
Okay.
it's my first MMA fight, and I only prepared for this fight like 8 weeks, like as in like real MMA training, because all these years I've been training for Muay Thai, and yeah, so it's like, and it's my first MMA fight, and the stage is so big, so I got kind of nervous. Yeah, but thanks to my teammates and my coaches, they actually talked me out and helped me calm down. So when I step off the ring, wrong. When I step into the cage,
Mm-hmm.
suddenly I feel this rush of adrenaline, and I don't know why like I seem to relax when I step in the cage. So I was like ready to rumble.
All right.
Yeah, and during the fight, yeah.
Because Justin Leong was telling me before the fight that you got to watch the first guy. This guy is explosive, and were you planning to knock him out? Was that the strategy?
Actually, my hope, I was prepared to fight like all 3 rounds actually,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know why I had the feeling that I would knock him out. So I just went. So when I saw his face, like his eyes were up, then I was like, oh shit, I gotta go in for a kill. I gotta go in for a kill. Yeah.
Yeah, because after that, I saw you scream so loudly. You just screamed right under me, and was that a scream of relief or was that a scream of joy?
I don't know. I think it's excitement. I was like, I didn't know what to do. I was like, ah, yeah.
All right. So what's next for Nazri Sutari?
For now, I think I'm letting my knee get healed first,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna concentrate on training first. Yeah. So it's like whatever the next fight, no, I'm just gonna take it. Yeah. It's
Right.
all up to Kwang then.
Okay.
Once
So,
we don't fight, let's
anyways,
go.
anyways, if you are in Impact Gym tomorrow, I'll be down to interview your teammate Gary Tang.
Oh, nice.
All right,
But
Nazri. Thanks for being
you
on the show.
don't. Okay, sure, no problem.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
See you, mate.
All right, so I'm left with Frank and Suman. So I think I'll go with Frank first. What's the most exciting bout on the show?
Oh, jeez. You know what? Oh, come on, don't start laughing at me already. I haven't even said anything yet. It was just 2 syllables. Come on, Suman. Please.
I'm not saying anything.
No, I got to say, look,
Uh-huh.
it was an absolute commentator's dream. Think about it. 12 fights.
Hmm?
First female MMA fight ever in Singapore. Am I right about that? I think I'm right about that.
Nah, it's not.
Oh no.
There's been
Yeah,
I
they
thought
they, they have
female MMA fight in Singapore.
no. May and Amy's fight is the third female MMA fight in Singapore.
First.
The first pro fight though.
No, they're not the first pro fight. They are the third fight
Okay.
female MMA fight in
well,
Singapore.
I might have got. What do I know? I'm just a commentator. But anyway, look, no, but it was great to have the girls on the card. It was incredible to have out of 12 fights, we had 11 finishes. Are you kidding me? That's like a commentator's dream, right?
Yep.
So how am I going to pick a favorite fight, man? Man, there's so many amazing moments, man. I mean, Gyo Pyong-hyun, who can forget his flying knee to knock out Safik in that fight?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how can you go past, Nakahara's incredible performance, his accuracy against Marcos Vinicius Pancini in that fight? Or, what about the slugfest that Suman Mokhtarian was in?
Yep.
I mean, we didn't know what the hell happened. I mean, at the end of that second round, which I want to ask you about this, Suman, was, he had an arm triangle on you. I don't even know whether you were actually there. You might have been out. I mean, that was close.
Yeah, it was. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. It was close. He had a scissor choke on me, and you know what it was? It was. I heard my corner say there were 20 seconds left, and I knew that I had lost the round. And I think mentally it was a bad thing to do, but I was kind of like, he's not gonna be able to finish me in the last 20 seconds of the fight. So I kind of just went limp, and I was just like, yeah, he's not gonna get me anything. And then he put the scissor choke on. And I looked over at my corner, and my corner was saying to me, there's only 10 seconds left. And then I held on to it, and I heard the buzzer go. And then as I heard the buzzer go, I felt the referee touch their hands on me. But I just remember my body not being able to move. Like, I don't know if I was exhausted or what it was. Everyone thought I was out, but I was physically like, I maybe it was from the choke as well, but I was dead. I had nothing left. I don't even know how I came out for the third round.
Dude, listen. Where I was sitting, I looked over to you, dude. You looked, I hate to say it, you looked done, dude. You were done.
Yeah.
Wait, you squatted in his corner right next to him, man. You didn't even care.
Man.
You were so tired. Your corner had to come and grab you and drag you into your corner. Oh my god, dude. I was
sitting there.
sorry, no disrespect, bro. No disrespect, but it was just freaking awesome.
I remember sitting there, and I just didn't know whether to move or not. And then Terry Devlin, my corner man, came over to me and he goes, "Get the F up, you got one more round to go." And I'm like, here we go. You know what? I actually don't remember a word, or actually, don't worry about a word. I don't remember anything of what happened in between the second and third round.
Mate, let me tell you, dude, I have to agree with you.
I don't remember, it's one of those moments that I actually can't pick out one thing from it that I remember.
That's
I don't even
amazing.
remember sitting on the stool. So
It just goes to show you, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, dude. I
no.
totally respect you, man. But it was so exciting. There's so much I want to talk about that I don't want to miss anything. So I'm stumbling over my tongue. You know what I mean? Like it's.
Yeah.
But dude, I just couldn't believe that. It just goes to show you that in that third round, you weren't even there. According to
I wasn't.
Suman,
I really wasn't.
you weren't there. So what is it then that is in that cage? What is it that's driving this human organism, the muscle tissue, bone, blood, desire, determination? What is it? It's that warrior inside of you, man. It's the
I
warrior
think it's
inside of all of
the second nature of just being a fighter.
Yeah.
You know? But
Yeah.
I think if you really want it, forget your mind, forget everything. I think your heart takes over. And I think that's what happened because I wasn't thinking in that last round or anything like that. But I don't remember most of the last round. I just remember getting the takedown and him nearly sweeping me with the Kimura and then me turning back in and ending up in his guard. And I just thought, I even thought to myself, I go, if I'm on top here, I'm winning. And I kept hearing my corner say, get up and strike, get up and strike. But I had nothing left in. I don't even know how I made my speech after the fight.
You made that speech all right, dude. You ripped that phone and microphone out of my hands, dude. I thought you were going to shove it up my nose or something, dude. You were on fire.
I actually, after I walked out from the fight, out of the stage, I walked out and they were directing me back to my change room and I told them I have to go out. And someone came up to talk to me and take a photo and I remember just vomiting at their shoes. So I apologized to that person because I went outside and I could not stop vomiting and I don't know what it was, but I've never felt so sick in my life.
Yeah. Well, maybe the weight cut. I mean, it was a big cut. Took the fight on short notice. It was an absolute slugfest. It sapped every bit of hydration out of every cell of your body, man. And to see you do that, dude, I was so proud to see that. Dude, it was a great fight. Look, I mean, you're asking me back to your original question, Mohammed, which was one of my most exciting moments. To see a fellow Aussie, I mean, look, that was my first card overseas. I've never called an MMA card overseas before. So, we were all in there together, and to see him pull out that win. Suman, honestly, we spent a bit of time as well leading up to the fight, with, Amy, etc. in your corner. It was great, man. And I was so proud to be a part of that, dude. Really, I mean, it just shows the desire you have, dude. And I'm sure you're going to do huge things for Australian top team over there in Sydney, man. And if there's anything I can do to help you guys out at all, please just let us know, man, because we got plenty of cool guys and lots of bodies, man. So let us know.
Really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
So also, if I can just say, Mohammed, real quick, because I don't want to leave anything out, really.
Sure.
Of course, don't forget Alberto Mina against Glenn Sparv.
Yeah.
I mean, Alberto Mina, Glenn Sparv looked massive, dude. The only thing missing in that cage was a horse. No jokes. He looked like a Viking Finnish warrior. He was incredible. And Alberto Mina, look, I've got to say, he toiled with him until he set him up for that knee. And when he knocked him out, oh man, it was incredible. I mean, what did you think of that fight?
Now you see the size difference, man. But Alberto Mina just gave like 6-7 punches straight to Glenn Sparv. Sparv was unhappy. I interviewed him after the fight because I was covering for MMAviking.com, and he thinks that it was an early stoppage. But I think Sparv was out.
Man, footage. I've been sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry. When I reviewed the footage for the first time with the commentary and everything, and it looked awesome. You guys obviously have seen that, the live coverage. Suman, have you seen it?
Yeah, I have. I thought he was out. I would have stopped the fight if I was a referee. He went limp for a second.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, his arms were out wide. His face was turned away. He was on his knees, mate. That's classic, mate. When you hit someone on the chin, or you hit him in the temple, or you hit him in the neck, whatever. That's a classic example. If they're on their knees, they stay on their knees, face flat on the ground, arms out. There's no way that was an early stoppage. No way.
Yeah.
Well then, all right. So you guys got any last words for the Rebel FC discussion before I go on to the next one?
Get me back onto Rebel FC too.
For sure, I agree.
I've been speaking to Justin in the last few days more than I have Chad, but he's said to me that he would like me to come back onto Rebel FC too, and I've made it very clear that I want to fight. I said that I'll fight anyone that they put in front of me, and I think there was another 66-kilo guy that had fought that night from Impact. I think it would make sense that we both won our fights. He had a great finish in his fight. Match us up two together. You know, I'm sure Singapore would like to see it. I'm sure I'd like to be in the cage as well. And I know that we could both put on an exciting fight. No disrespect or anything like that to anyone. I'll fight anyone that they put in front of me because I just want the opportunity to show that what I can do with a proper camp behind me. And yeah, I'll fight whoever. But yeah, just it makes sense.
You know what? I'll find that 66 kg guy on Impact tomorrow because I'll be on the gym and I'll get him on the show next week. Then we can talk about that.
I actually spoke to him and but we didn't speak about fighting each other, you know?
All right.
This guy, he said to me he was envious of my fight about having a 3-round war. And I said to him I was envious that he got a finish. So yeah, you know, he didn't get punched in his fight. He went in, got a big double leg, ended up mounting, and nearly got caught in the guillotine at one stage, and turned the guy over and just guillotine, rear naked choked him from behind. So it was a flawless victory. So yeah, it was great. I'd like another opportunity to fight Rebel FC because I know that I can. I'm only going to improve it. I'm only going to get better, and I'm going to make a good show for everyone in Singapore.
All right,
No matter who
Suman. Frank, any last words?
Yeah, man. I mean, I got to talk about Rob Lacita's victory over Takeshi. You know, I mean, you kidding? Takeshi had his measure the whole fight. Look, I got to be honest. You know, Rob's tough. I mean, there's no denying that. He won the fight. He did great. He got the finish. Incredible choke. But, man, Takeshi was doing so well, you know. He may have slipped up. Rob had a lot of pressure on him the whole way through that, and he just forced that error. He forced Takeshi with his back against the cage. He landed that left hand. He took his back immediately, and he choked him. That was exciting as well. So back to answer your question to wrap it up, for me personally, having a chance to be on that, to work on that show with Rebel FC was absolute privilege. It was exciting. 11 out of 12 finishes, great pro bouts, you know, Aussies in there as well. I mean, awesome. It was just awesome to be part of it, and I really appreciate it, and I can't wait for Rebel 2.
All right, Frank, thanks very much. I think you have some kids to attend to right now.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me, and listen, anything you guys need, just hit me up, let me know. I love it. Monday Night Mayhem, man, was awesome. The boys are listening in and tuning in as well as we speak as well.
All right, thank you, Frank.
All the boys. If any of my guys are listening from 10th Planet Jiu Jitsu Melbourne or anywhere around the world, 10th Planet Jiu Jitsu, love you guys to death, and I'll see you guys real soon. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Frank.
Thanks, Suman. Good luck, my brother. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Suman, basically you're going to have a next fight. Maybe you can tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, I'm planning to fight my next fight on the 21st of February in Hurstville in Sydney. It's on J&I Productions. I'm fighting for an Australian title. I don't know too much on my opponent yet. They're seeing if he accepts the fight because it's a new title. But they've got a few names in line. I said to them that I'll fight whoever they put forward at my weight class. So I'm looking to have that fight. And then today, actually, I got a message, and I'm going to be fighting for another Australian or world title. They just said title. When he said title to me, I wanted to take the fight. And again, I said I'll fight anyone here in Australia, New Zealand, or wherever they're going to fly him down from for another title on the 15th of March at Bonnie Rig at Stephen Jez's show, Star Wars. And yeah, that's what I'm after. I'm after big fights. You know, I want to expose my name out there, and I want to say that I want to prove that I'm the best. You know, I know I'm not a professional yet or anything like that, or I haven't taken that next step. But at the stage in my career that I'm at now, I'm ready to prove that I'm better than all the guys that are in my weight class as amateurs or semi-pro fighters. And when I turn pro, I want these guys to know my name. I want these guys to fear me. You know, I know that they're going to respect my skills when I do turn pro, and I want to be a household name, and I know one day I will be.
All right, you will be, man. You're a warrior. So, anyways, before we go on to TUF Nations, I will get Ultimate Beatdown manager. Hey, yeah, he can't wait to be in. Ultimate Beatdown event manager, Bad Boy FS Cheng. Alright, FS Cheng, are you on?
Yeah, I'm on.
Okay, that's good. Okay, tell me where you right now. Hello.
Me? I'm in a very remote area, man. Penang. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me, bro?
Yeah, I can hear you. So basically, you are now at home or outside?
No, man, I'm by the seaside.
Okay, we can't hear you properly, but I think you are on your mobile right now.
Yeah, I'm on a mobile.
All right. Okay. So I heard Ultimate Beatdown will be in March. I hope it doesn't clash with One FC. So tell me a little bit about how fighters are going to register and when the event is likely to take place.
Alright, let me just go through it, right? First and foremost, thank you, man, Fightin. That has really
Nah, no problem, man.
this opportunity to spread Ultimate Beatdown, right? For those who have no idea about Ultimate Beatdown, we are basically a platform for fighters to establish their skills and technique before they step into bigger MMA organizations. I mean, now everyone wants to fight, man. Everyone just wants to get in big organizations. So we're just providing a platform. So regarding fighters registration, alright, we're actually preparing it to, it won't clash with 1FC or Mima or anything in Malaysia because we are doing it by the end of the March.
Mm-hmm.
And our venue is yet to be confirmed because we have already gathered a lot of corporates. I mean, they just want to pour their money into our event. And I'd like to take this chance to thank Kim Lee Tan from Rep Fitness for sponsoring 10,000 ringgit for the fight purse, and also some supplements for the winners, the bonus for the bonus in Ultimate Beatdown to 14.
All right. So 10,000 ringgit bonus, will that go to the best fight of the night, or how does the bonus
Ah
go?
man, we're gonna split it up to all the winners, but we are
Wow.
limiting ourselves to 15 to 20 fights. So
All right, man. So I can't wait
money up,
for
man, money up for grab.
yeah, I can't wait for the next event. So how does the fighters register for your event?
Okay, you can go online to our Facebook page. On top there, just beside the like button, just below the like button, there's a contact us form. Fill in that form, we'll get it shortlisted, we'll contact you back.
All right. Thank you very much. I think there are fighters in Australia that would love to join your event as well.
Yeah, I heard Suman is very interested. I met Suman, yeah, I met Suman and his sister, Amy. They fought really good. We hope to have them in our event as well. We'll
Yeah,
see
thank you, man.
All right.
Yeah, man, we'll see how our budget works out. If it works out well, we'll bring them in.
All right,
Awesome.
FS. Basically, we are really getting very bad reception from you, but thanks for being on our show, and I will have to go on to the next segment.
Alright, man, no problem. Thanks.
All right. Suman, you want to say something?
Alright.
Suman, you got something to say?
Oh yeah, man. If Ultimate Beatdown wants to have an Australian on their show, I'm sure I'd like to fight, and I've got about 30 other guys that are amateurs in this gym that would love the opportunity. Let's have Australia versus Singapore, or let's do something like that. It'll be awesome. I think didn't May Oy's trainer fight on Ultimate Beatdown?
May Strainer?
Yeah, Sylvia.
No, he fought in Ultimate Satria. That's another
Ah,
amateur
so
event.
no. I was gonna say we've got a few guys that would love to fight him too.
All right. Thanks, Cheng, for being on the show. Okay, I think I didn't got him. Okay, so the next segment we're gonna have one FC fighters, Chris Lokteff, Ariel Sexton, and Suman Mokhtarian. Wrong, Nik Harris.
Not one FC.
All right, hold on. Yeah, guys on. Real. Chris and Nick. All right, while they are coming on, I would like to the event a bit. What's happening is that on the 14th of March, One FC will have War of Nations. The main event will be Nobutatsu Suzuki versus Brock Larson, followed by Daehwan Kim versus Kevin Bellingham, Shinichi Kojima versus Andrew Leone, Adriano Moraes versus Yasuhiro Urushitani, and the rematch of Singapore girl Sherilyn Lim versus Malaysian and Athena Usman too. So we'll be discussing about that in the next few episodes of our show. But the good thing is it's not at the normal stadium anymore. It's now at Stadium Negara, which is like 15 to 20 minutes the stadium. So can I have a confirmation that Ariel is on? Ariel, are you on?
I'm here, my friend. How are you?
All right. What time is it? Is it in Costa Rica?
Right now in Costa Rica at 7 in the morning.
Wow. Oh my God. Thank you so much for being on. So tell me, I heard that you were actually quite excited that there's something on the board for you in 1FC. So what are you doing now and what's your future?
Well, right now I'm just preparing to fight. 1FC has told me I'm going to be very active this year, so I'm just waiting for confirmation on the next show, and I can't wait for you guys over in Asia to see what I have.
All right, man. Because basically, the last time we saw you fight, it was on 2013. You smashed Peter Davis on Mima. Like, who's next? We actually talked about having you against Anon Lepon as one of the rumors that's coming up in March. So, are you on in March or?
Well, I can't say just yet,
Uh
but
huh.
I know that I'll have some good news for the fans out there very soon. It'd be nice to fight someone, maybe DuPont, because I think he's teammates and friends with Peter Davis.
Uh
In reality, I don't know who I'm gonna fight. I just want to fight soon.
huh. All right, man. So, what have you been doing now? Right now, you have been training. You working?
Well, me and my teammate Juan Barantes, we just got back from the scrap pack. We were training in San Francisco with Gilbert Melendez and Jake Shields.
Wow.
Uh, they have a very good school out there, so we went for a month. We spent most of the Christmas holidays out there training. Now we're back in Costa Rica training. I have a friend of mine who's a Greco All-Star for the Olympic team in the United States. He's helping us out with some wrestling, and just back to home now, just training, going over our details and stuff like that.
All right, man. Ariel, we can't wait to see you in the cage again, man. And thanks for being on the show. It's early morning in Costa Rica right now.
No problem, man. Anytime you guys want me, I'll be here. I'll help you guys out. You help me out. I help you guys out. Yeah. So just anything we can do to get more exposure for you guys to know about Tarzan out here. I'm in the jungle. I'm just getting up right now. It's a beautiful morning.
All right, Ariel. Good luck and hope to see you soon.
Thank you, my friend. Bye bye.
Bye. All right. Is Chris on?
Chris is here, yep.
Yeah, Chris Lokteff. So since you are here, Suman is here. Before we talk about your future in 1FC, I want to talk about TUF Nations. We have Kyle Noak, Australian Kyle Noak as one of the coaches, and Canadian Patrick Coot as one of the coaches. Chris, you tell me who should I look out for? I don't know any of the guys down there.
The best one from one of our gyms is Tyler Manawarawa. Young fella is only about 19, 20 years old, but he's the one to look out for from Australia. A young gun coming up. Very talented young kids. So, yeah, no.
Suman, how about you? Any guys we should look out for this 15 January?
Yeah, I was actually going to say Tyler as well. I've seen Tyler fight a few times. Tyler's 10-0 now, and he's only 19 years old. I heard rumors that he was meant to be on the last season of the TUF Nations, but he was too young. He's an incredible fighter, and obviously out of a great gym, Integrated MMA, one of the top gyms in Australia, and I think he's going to do well. I think Richard Walsh from VT1 Gym in Sydney, he is good fighter. There's a few names that I'm not going to go into, but I think there could have been some other guys that got in there for whatever reasons that didn't get in. But I think Richard Walsh, but definitely Tyler Manawara, the two to look out for. But we've got some good names in there as well, Brandon O'Reilly and all those other guys. But I think Tyler is probably the favorite, and right behind him would be Richard.
All right, so I got Chris on video. That's great. Chris, was on the last KL card and I saw your fight with Tony Johnson. Tony was the favorite going into the fight. He just beaten Team Sylvia. Can you tell me, walk through that fight, man? It was a 3-round war, man.
Yeah, no, look, I just go into fights doing what I do. I can't do anything else, and it paid off for me in a good way, and those soccer ball kicks sort of come a bit natural for me now, and that's what I've been practicing. But look, I don't look at my opponents. I don't go into any of that. I just do what I do, and I can only do what I train.
All right. So after that fight, there were rumors going on that you're going to have a rematch. Are you going to have a rematch with Tony?
I don't know about that. I haven't heard anything about that. This is the first time I'm hearing about it. But hey, look, I'm always down to fight anyone. I never say no to a fight, and I won't say no to him again if that's what it comes down to.
All right. Then what are you doing right now?
I am watching TV at home. I just finished dinner, just relaxing, and I got a call from you.
So okay, I heard that you ONE FC has just signed you for a few fights. So maybe you can tell me about the details.
Look, they've signed me for 6-fight contract. That's pretty much all I know. I mean, I'm stoked to fight on such a great show, and that's all really I know about it, eh?
All right, so
Not much.
All right, so you don't know whether you'll be on March.
No, I think the next one I'll be on is in April.
Singapore.
That's all they've given me so far. They haven't given me any opponent details. They just said that as of April, they're having one every month, and that's pretty much all I know. So I think it's going to be a busy year for me.
All right, man. Can't wait to see you in the cage, man.
Thanks, Mohammed.
Okay, thanks, Chris.
Yeah, man.
All right. So, Nick, are you on?
Yeah, I'm on. Can you hear me as clear as the sky?
Yeah, I can hear you as clear as the sky.
Sweet.
All right, the reason I bring you on is that we already know long beforehand that on the 14th of March, ONE FC is going to come in. And since you are like the media darling in Malaysia, are you going to be on? Like you and Peter are the two media darlings of MMA in Malaysia. So are you going to be on the card?
Well, in terms of ONE FC, they haven't informed me anything about being on the card yet. And I'm not sure, but I'm slowly starting to train back again because I started a new job and stuff. So it's a bit hard to balance everything out. But if ONE FC says come in and fight Nick, I'm gonna fight, you know. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So basically, you're saying you are ready to fight.
I'm not ready to fight per se, but give me 2 months and hide the fried chicken, and yeah, I'm there.
Okay, if you are ready, I saw your last fight in KL. You were hyped up. You had a very hilarious interview at the end. Any guys that you are aiming for?
Well, I'm not aiming for anyone. I'm just I'm not the type of guy that will say I want to fight this guy, I want to fight that guy. That's not how I work. It's more of like if ONE FC tells me to fight this guy and it brings me closer to the belt, then why not? I'm that kind of guy, I suppose.
Okay, that's great. So if you are not on the ONE FC card, maybe we can see you in Ultimate Beatdown again.
Oh, definitely. I've always been a fan of Ultimate Beatdown, and they love me there. Like the fans in Johor really love me, and it's a wonderful feeling, I guess.
Yeah, dude, Malaysians just love you, man.
They love they love the fact that, you know, I don't take fighting. Not to say I don't take fighting seriously. I think fighting is more fun for me. When I fight, I try my best to just fight intelligently and entertaining as possible. But then once I get hit, intelligence goes out the window and entertainment comes in.
All right, Nick. Thanks so much for being on the show. We would love to have you come back, and I would love to see you on the cage again.
For sure. Thank you very much for having me on.
All right, thank you, Nick.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
All right, so Nick is out. Suman is still there.
Yep.
All right, so we're going on to the next one. Robin Black is on. Hold on. Have you seen Robin Black, Suman?
No, I haven't actually.
Okay, basically there's this fight, like a YouTube TV show called the Fight Network, and he's the color commentator on it, and they have shows like every day, man, almost every day.
You're gonna get me on?
Yeah, I'm trying to get him on. Yeah, because what happens was, do you know Zombie Prophet?
Yeah.
Okay, so when Zombie Prophet announced that he's gonna leave Bloody Elbow, I wanted to bring him on the show.
Okay.
Yeah, Robin, are you here?
I am here.
Right, Robin. Maybe you like to introduce yourself.
Hey, Robin Black. I'm here in Toronto right now. It's 8:05 a.m. and I analyze fighting for Fight Network. And got up early so I could come on and chat with you guys in Singapore.
All right. So the thing is, I wanted to get Zombie Prophet on the show, and what happened was Zombie actually tagged your name in, and I was like, dude, I watch your show every day on YouTube, man, and you want to be on my show? It's like an honor, man.
Oh, I'm glad. No, I saw I've tried to get Zombie Prophet on our show here at Fight Network in Canada, and he's he doesn't want anybody to know who he is, his face, his name, nothing. So he won't ever go on stuff. And I saw you, and he wrote, yeah, Robin's been trying to get me on his show forever. And I saw you guys, and I thought, well, if he won't go on there, I'll come on and talk to you.
All right. Okay. Basically, what I want to talk with you and Suman Mokhtarian is here. I want to talk about Barao versus Faber, because what happened was on the last show we were actually discussing about Cruz versus Barao and how Cruz gonna come back and win it again and prove everyone wrong. But the next day, Cruz got injured. Barao, Faber 3.5 weeks. Is it? Can he do it, Robin?
Well, it's a tough one, man. Like, first of all, Cruz, I think, got injured because, he's dealt with major injuries over the last 2 years. And when you do that, it's not just that you're kind of injured, your body stops training at a high level. You can't, if you've blown out your knee, you can't run, you can't lift, you can't spar, you can't do any of those things. So your muscles, your connective tissue, it all kind of starts to weaken and you become a normal person instead of a super athlete. And then when that normal person decides he wants to go and train really hard, like a high level UFC fighter, you'll injure something else. So that's what happened there. And Faber, on the other hand, this guy's like on top of his game. Four wins this year, looked phenomenal in all of them. Has never been so good. But taking it on a month's notice is really, really challenging. But I can see him doing it. I mean, he is as good a fighter as there is out there. Unbelievably athletic. And they added Dwayne Ludwig to their camp, and since he's been there, they've won 14 or 15 out of 16 or 17. They've only lost 1 or 2 fights out of almost 20 since he's been there. So they're on top of their game.
Yep. Suman, you have any thoughts on Barao Faber?
I'm a big fan of both. I picked Cruz last week to win the fight, but watching Faber against McDonald again, like, I don't know how anyone can vote against Barao, but at the same time, when I'm watching Faber, I'm like, man, this guy can beat any 135er on the planet on his given day. I think he's just gonna make for a really good fight, even if
I agree.
It's on a month's notice, so it is a tough task. But I believe that Faber is one of those guys that is ready all year round. You're not gonna see him out of shape or anything like that. So I think you're always going to see the best out of him, and I think he's going to put on one of the best performances of his career.
Yeah, I agree. They're very different. Faber is super athletic, but he's got sort of short reach. He's good inside, like deep in the pocket, but he always tends to lose fights to these top guys when he's staying on the outside and trying to pot shot one punches all the time. So I kind of expect him to kind of really, he said it himself, he wants to sort of rough it up, make it kind of a hard-nosed kind of fight. I'd expect to see him chest to chest a lot with Barao, like either on the fence or just trying to get in really deep on him. Because if he's on the outside, that's how he lost to Barao last time. That's how he lost to Cruz. That's how he lost to Aldo, is when he's out on the outside of these guys' long kicks and long punches, they can pick him apart.
That's right.
Yeah, man. Okay, Robin, quickly before you go, Matt Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw both your shows on YouTube about Matt Brown, legitmanshit.com. Like, come on. What do you think Matt Brown is trying to do?
I think Matt Brown's hilarious. I think he's a great fighter. I think he's an awesome fighter. And how can you not? He talks and he does a podcast the way he fights. He just shoves his face in there and gets in there and gets dirty. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's the same way he did that his podcast. On his podcast, he said stuff about, women have no knockout power, and he'd rather see them fight topless and stuff like that. And that's all funny. Guys can say that as much as they like, there's no law against saying that, but it's a bit offensive, like these women fighters are tough. I don't know if he's ever trained with any of them, but if you've been punched in the face or kicked in the leg by a legit 135-pound female, you know how tough they are. They train just as hard, and in some cases harder, because if you tell your dad or your family or your friends, I'm going to try and be a UFC fighter, they go, oh, this guy's crazy. Muhammad's lost his mind. But if you're a girl and you do that, everybody really thinks you're crazy. There's a million reasons to stop. Guys try to beat you up in the gym. People try to talk you out of it. Like, it takes a real special person to fight in a cage, but it takes way more special person to be a girl and fight in a cage, because of all the stigmas and the things like that. So having said that, is it cool to be talking about, girls with the boobs out when really they're professional athletes? Maybe not, but at the same time, Matt Brown has every right to say whatever he wants. And like I said, I liked it when he went back and apologized. And his apology consisted of, I'm paraphrasing, but the UFC has a policy, and I signed a contract, and I noticed that in that policy, I'm not supposed to do this kind of stuff, so I'll try to be careful next time. He didn't say, when you see these guys and they like hire a lawyer and a publicist, and they're like, I would like to sincerely apologize to all that I may have offended, and they get really fancy and overly complicated. It's like, that's BS. You said what you said because that's who you are. Stand behind it. If you got something to apologize for, it's for stepping outside of the UFC's expectations. Matt Brown is a cool dude. Like I said, I didn't agree with that because I have tons of friends that are fighters that are girls. And I've been punched in the face by girl fighters. Sarah Kaufman kicked me in the leg about as hard as you're going to get kicked in the leg. And I know how hard these girls work. But at the same time, I like the way Matt Brown kind of more or less stood by the things that he said. He is who he is. And, I think that podcast could actually be a lot of fun.
All right, Robin, thanks so much for being on the show, man. It's the morning down there. I believe you got some work to do.
Yeah. We shoot 5 rounds on Fight Network every Monday, so that's kind of John and my favorite show. So we come in, and right now it's a bunch of prep, and then we shoot at about 11 o'clock. I'm going to take a good look at this Wednesday night fight card.
Yeah, I would love to have John in as well. He's like a big GSP fan.
yeah. I'm going to be totally honest with you. Once John realized, I think that you could actually get people wound up, and you could get not only provide people with some insight and break down some stuff, but you could get people angry at you. I think he starts having fun with that a little bit. I think he's trying to push that. So, any chance he gets to talk up GSP to frustrate people, I think he takes it.
Yeah. All right, Robin. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you again.
Thank you.
Okay, Suman. So our next segment is UFC Fight Night 35. Rockhold versus Phillipou is going to be on January 15. You got any picks?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about this on my way to the gym, because obviously I'm using the laptop at the gym just because I want to get away from the house and everything. When I was driving over here, I was thinking about that fight, and I think Rockhold is too well versed for Costa. I think Costa's an amazing boxer, and he's improved a lot on his wrestling and that. But Rockhold's got a win over Jacare, doesn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, anyone who's got a win over Jacare, I'm gonna have to go with them. He's one of my favorite fighters. Jacare is obviously one of my favorite fighters, and he beat him, so that's pretty credible. And I think Costa, other than Tim Birch, he's kind of struggled with any of the top guys as well. So I'm gonna have to go Rockhold.
Yeah, because it's a bit of a struggle for Rockhold, since he was really going up in Strikeforce after beating Jacare. Then after that, straight away was dumped into Vitor Belfort and got a devastating knockout. Yeah, it was scary, man.
Yeah, that was a great knockout. I'm a big Vitor fan, and watching him spinning back kick someone was unreal. Usually you talk about Vitor for his hands, but he's showing that he's becoming more well versed with his his new kickboxing coach Henry Hill.
Right. So the next guy I would love to see is Lawrence Larkin. This guy beat Robbie Lawler, and he's gonna fight Brett Tavares. I think it's gonna be a good fight, man.
Yeah. Is Lorenzo Larkin? He's fighting Brad Tavares, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I seen Brad Tavares is starting to talk about Francis Carmon and things like that.
Yes.
You know, I don't really know where Brad's head is with the fight. I think he should really be focusing on Lorenz, but I'm a big Tavares fan. You can't go past Larkin, but I'm gonna have to go with the underdog here. I'm gonna go with Tavares. Watching him knock out Phil Baroni, like I love Phil Baroni, but that was one of the coolest knockouts I'd seen when he had him up against the cage and he laid about 4 or 5 punches on him and just had him out. You know, I thought it was awesome, and I liked Tavares from the time he was on the show, and I think he's kept improving. So even though I don't think his mind is really focused on the fighter, I'm gonna go with Tavares just because usually everyone else would say Larkin, so I'm just gonna go away from that.
All right, so I'm going for Larkins. You wanna do a wager on that?
You're that confident, aren't you?
Yeah.
What's Larkin paying? You reckon he's got pretty good odds, doesn't he? Tavares would have good odds.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about the odds, but I'm taking Larkins. If you want to take Tavares, maybe we put a wager on it. Like, I don't know, do something on the next show.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'll back the boy up, you know. But if I lose, I'm gonna go to Hawaii myself and have to kick Tavares' ass. You know, I'll go up to 84 kgs.
All right,
I've
so
fought it before, so it's not that far off.
yeah, all right. So any other guys you think would explode in the show? They have Paul Miller on. They have Ramsey Nijem on. I think it's very sad for John Moraga. He just fought on the main event with Demetrius Johnson, and now he's on the prelims against. If I'm not wrong, it's Ortiz.
Yeah. I think John Moraga got thrown in a bit too soon. Kind of seen that when he versed Demetrius. You know, John Moraga's a good young guy, but I think the UFC just chucked him in the deep end because that flyweight division is kind of dead, to be honest. And I don't know. It's kind of sad how you see someone go from a main event to a prelim. You know, you never know. He could lose his next fight and get cut 2 fights after fighting for the title. Do you know what I mean? So it's pretty sad, but I think Moraga will come back in a good way. And I'm actually really excited to see Cole Miller fight, out of all people, because Cole Miller, he's an emotional guy. You know, he fights wearing his heart on his sleeve, and he can be exciting to watch. You know, I remember seeing him drop Ross Pearson, and you know, go after him and choke him out. So I want to see, because Cole Miller hasn't fought very well in his last few fights. He even lost to Steven Styler. I like Steven Styler; he's a good fighter, but I want to see Cole Miller, you know, find his groove again. Really.
Yeah, me too, man. Like he's a great guy, man. It's pretty exciting to watch him in the cage. So, anyways, we will move on. Basically, we don't have much any more planned segments. We have 7 minutes left. I want to talk about WSOF versus Bellator. You saw that?
Oh yeah, I saw that. You know, I really liked the idea. I was talking to my older brother Ashkar Mokhtarian, who's a professional fighter as well. I was speaking to him about it, and I think it's an insane idea. I think it is the WWE all over again. You know, you think about it, I think a few years ago, if you ever watched wrestling, had the WWE versus the WCW like years ago, like 10 years ago.
Yep.
They were like a winner take all. Whoever wins takes the company and all this stuff. And you know what? I don't know back then because I was too young to worry about ratings and things like that. But I think that could have pulled in ratings, and I think that this could work. But what happens in the end? Like someone wins, do they just hand over their company, or if someone wins, do they sell their company? What happens? You know, I didn't really go too far into detail. I think it was kind of words that were said. But I would love to see, you know, someone like Anthony Rumble Johnson versus the top 205 Bellator or guy, what's his name? Even someone like Christian, I can't even say his last name. I can't pronounce it because it's M, an apostrophe, Pumba. I don't know how to say it. But
Mpumba.
yeah, that's the one. He's a cool fighter. He's a cool fighter. He's good. But there's so many good guys around so many different weight classes, and it would be cool to see the WSOF fight the Bellator guys in whatever promotion it was, just for the betting factor, and everyone would come in on it and join the hype train.
Yeah, because the main event would be Tyrone Spong versus Quinton Jackson. And actually what happened was in Bellator back then, when Jackson was supposed to fight Ortiz, then Tito actually got injured. Tyrone Spong went on a Twitter rampage telling the Bellator guys, put me in, I want to fight Jackson. I want to see that fight, man. It's going to be explosive.
I think Jackson's gonna go back to his old wrestling high school days. I don't think he's gonna want to stand up with Tyrone Spong. I know Jackson's got some hands, but I don't think he's quick enough to keep up with Spong in the stand up.
Yep.
Spong is animal.
Yeah, Spong is a beast, man. He might have just a 2-0 MMA record, but you watch his kickboxing videos, oh man, that guy can kill.
I don't know much about his grappling, but I think that, and he hasn't really versed anyone that really wanted to take him down to the floor, which I think is ridiculous. But I'm sure if he's thrown himself in a position to fight in the WSOF or Bellator or whatever it is, that he's working hard on it, and he's a professional athlete. I know after years of kickboxing, it's hard to learn something new, but I think as a professional athlete, he's adapting to it, and I think he's good. I think he's going to make it, because even kickboxing striking to MMA striking is very different, and he's transitioned pretty well to it.
Okay, so I actually tweeted with Ali Abdulaziz, the matchmaker for WSOF, right after his show in Ariel Helwani, and I was telling him that, oh come on, Bellator's not gonna accept that. Why don't you do WSOF versus 1FC? I would want to watch Ben Askren versus John Fitch.
Yeah, I think that would be probably the most boring fight. I don't know why you would want to watch that, because we know someone's going to go to a decision. But I think Askren's got that fight with John Fitch. I don't know where John Fitch's head was when he got choked out by what's his name, the bald dude, Josh Berkman. But I think Askren's grappling is way too high level for John Fitch, and I think it'll just be Ben Askren taking Fitch down and dominating him, kind of like what Damian Maia did, just a wrestling version, not a BJJ version. I think it would be an interesting fight for me to look up who won.
Yep.
Who won, but I wouldn't actually want to watch the fight.
Yeah, but I want to know who will win. So another matchup that I made, a fantasy matchup, is that Eddie Ng versus Nick Newell. Nick Newell, I have so much respect for that guy, man. He fights with 1.5 arm. He chokes people out. He's an animal in the cage.
You know what? When he got released from Legacy, I think it was.
Yes.
Yeah, he got released from Legacy, and then everyone was talking all this stuff about, he didn't want to take a big fight or something. He fought a guy that was on The Ultimate Fighter, Keon Caldwell, I think. And if you make it onto The Ultimate Fighter, usually you'd be an alright fighter, especially nowadays. But he's versed some guys with some legit records, and he hasn't lost yet. He hasn't slipped up, and it would be a great fight with him and Eddie, I reckon. I think Nick Newell is an incredible athlete, and especially for him having 1.5 arms, what more do you expect from the guy? The guy has gone into a cage with a disability, and he's still beating guys up, choking them out with one arm. I know I wouldn't want to fight him.
Yep.
And I think it would be hard for him to get fights because, to be honest, I don't mean this in a bad way, but no one really wants to fight a guy with one arm, because if you beat him, you beat a guy with one arm. You lose, you just lost to a guy with one arm. So it's a lose-lose situation. So anyone who's even putting themselves in that situation is a good fighter. They're putting themselves out there. They don't care who they fight. They don't think it's an easy fight. I'm sure people have realized by now it's not an easy fight.
Yeah, man, he's legit, man. Like, I don't think that dilemma from fighters is already, the beating a guy with one arm, losing a guy with one arm. That discussion actually went off quite a while back then. But right now, he's legit. I feel anyone who beats him can prove that they are legit. I don't think that he has that disadvantage anymore.
Yeah, well, people, but to the end of time, are gonna say this and that, and they're always gonna talk. But I consider him a legitimate athlete. I think he is a monster, and you know what? I'd even like to see him in the UFC, even though Dana White didn't really like it.
Yeah.
But I would really like to see it because I'm a big UFC fan myself, and I think Nick Newell, like if I'm looking someone up on YouTube to see how their last fight went, when they fight on Legacy, when I don't watch anyone else on Legacy, I think I'd like to watch them in the UFC as well, just so I don't have to go onto YouTube again.
All right, Suman, thank you. I think that's it for us tonight. We'd like to thank the fans for tuning in. Thanks again, Brett. Thanks to all the guests who went on the show. See you guys on the next episode of Monday Night Mayhem.
See you guys.